one and all, to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our taste, test, and review of Green Spot Single Pot Still Irish Whiskey. I am the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil KOE, joined by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe, folks. Here we go.
So, we're getting into an area that excites Tony a little more,
Yes.
and that is the Irish whiskeys. If you've been following our channel, we've dropped a couple of Canadian and Canadian-ish reviews. So, Tony thought he needed to try and bring me back over to the dark side of the Force, if you will,
Yes.
away from that clear Jedi Canadian whiskey.
That's a fair
I'm nothing
assessment.
if not topical, folks.
This is actually one that we were recommended as we were going on a little shopping trip for. Alcohol.
Yep.
Lucky enough, we happened to see it, picked the bottle up, and I've been eager to jump into this. So, first and foremost, let's get the bottle out. And it looks nice. Simple, but nice. It is 40%, 80 proof. Let's see here. One thing I found of note on the back was, obviously this is out of Dublin, and in 1887...
You don't get more Irish.
No. The entrepreneurial family expanded into the whiskey bonding business, whereby they sent empty wine, sherry, and port casks via horse and cart to the local Jameson distillery. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
Jameson finished in a wine barrel. Stop. Oh.
These were then filled and returned to the Mitchell Cellar Warehouse on Fitzwilliam Lane. There, beneath cobbled streets, the whiskeys matured for many years until they were ready to be bottled and sold. They sold a range of whiskeys under their Spot brand name. This rather peculiar name originated from their practice of marking casks of different ages with a dab or spot of colored paint, which you can see on the top.
They're nothing if not on brand.
There was a blue spot, red spot, and even a yellow spot, but Green Spot emerged as their most popular whiskey and is one of the few whiskey bonder brands to have survived to modern day. Whew. There are some tasting notes, not going to look at them.
The thing that interested me is we heard this is a good example of a traditional Irish whiskey. So when I heard that, it's like, we kind of have to give it a shot, don't we?
I agree. I think we absolutely do.
So, Tony, being the local representative of Irish whiskeys here in the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, he saw this, and like me, I thought I made a good haul of some really, really fine whiskeys.
We're going to need a knife.
But Tony, on the
maybe
other
not. I think I got her.
I was about to say, usually these whiskey bottles are idiot-proof.
There we go.
And I like how it's got the green spot even on top of the cork. That's just good branding.
Love that. All right.
Ooh, that was impressive on the cork. Plenty. And,
one for the off-camera personnel.
yes.
There we go.
One for the cameraman. Here you go, cameraman. Here you go. Yes.
There we go.
And, we'll do a little
Clinky,
toast.
clinky.
Toast with the cameraman. All right, so let's see how this hits the nose. Oh, wow.
Whew, sweet.
Sweet, but grainy. Like sweet and peat. Like, yeah, I was just overwhelmed with the sweetness.
Sweet and fruity.
But you're getting the grain, aren't you?
You're definitely getting the Irish whiskey flavor on the nose, but sweet. Man, surprisingly sweet.
I couldn't help it. I took a little tiny, just little drop on
Well, cheers. Here we go. Ooh. Boy, that is smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now I'm getting them back.
Not nearly.
A delayed aftertaste. A very, very faint burn. Not on the tongue. Back of the throat. Very sweet.
I'm getting basically cereal grains and citrus.
I'm getting just specific fruits. Citrusy fruits would be a fair.
Pear.
Yeah, pear's there. I can taste that. Very sugary fruit. I'm pleasantly surprised by the fruit sweetness in this.
Like that graininess, you feel like that would be smokiness if it had been prepared a little differently. But instead, I'm like, again, I work in a mill. I'm a farmer. It's like there's certain alcohols when I taste it, like all I can taste is the grain. Not with this one. This one is complex yet approachable.
Yeah, you get the grain, but it's definitely not what you're focused on.
So
I can't help but focus on the sweetness. And
yes, like the.
And now that you're saying pear, that's absolutely what I feel.
Like when you bring it to your nose, first thing that hits you, sweet, and then right after, like on the heels of it, it's like a sweet grain.
Here are the tasting notes: fresh aromatic oils and spices with orchard fruits and barley on a background of toasted wood. That's the nose. The taste, full spicy body, hint of cloves, along with the fruity sweetness of green apples rounded off with toasted oak. And the finish, lingering flavors of spices and barley. So, I'd say we're right in line with what they are advertising on the packaging.
Oh, yeah. So this one's tough. This one's going to be tough. Now, cameraman, you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down? We get a thumbs up from the cameraman.
That's a good endorsement.
Now,
you don't get any better than that.
Here's going to be a tough one for you. Irish whiskeys, 1 to 5 stars.
I really like this. Go figure.
I know.
I'm going to give this on a term of Irish whiskey.
It's like me liking a farm stock, Tony, or a whistle pig.
Goodness, I actually am going to give this a 4 on Irish whiskeys.
And in terms of brown spirits, sir?
3.5.
3.5.
3.75 maybe.
Because you got to remember, folks, Tony G is awful hard to please.
Well, the brown spirit scale is so flooded. It's so hard to rate high.
You are right.
But yeah, 3.5 to 3.75.
The whiskeys, the bourbons, the cognacs, the brandies.
It's a diverse scale.
The armagnacs, even some of the darker tequilas and mezcals. But
I really like this.
Yeah,
I am really enjoying that. I'm glad we waited.
I'm going to be a little more generous with you on one scale.
Okay.
On the Irish whiskey scale, because this is such a great example of classic Irish whiskey types, I'm giving it a 4.25.
Okay. That's fair. I'm fine with that.
In terms of brown spirits, I'm giving it a 3.75.
Okay.
It's definitely one, if I saw it on for a good price, I'd jump on it, because this is
Which is essentially what I did.
Now here's the tough one. Do you put it on the middle or the top shelf, T?
I would put this personally on the top shelf myself. I think it's, from a story and a flavor standpoint, it stands out enough that it's top shelf worthy, and I think it's aesthetically pleasing enough, bottle and packaging wise, that this would look good on anybody's top shelf.
It just pleases the aesthetics of my nose.
Yeah,
like
pretty much all the senses.
If you were going to not drink whiskey and just nose it, this would be an excellent...
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent nose, because you could spend a long time trying to find all the aromas. It's like, what was one of the fruits that they pointed out?
Green apple.
Not that one. Clove. There we go. Clove. That's what I was...
Yeah.
Now that you point out, I can't Yeah, it's now in my brain now. There's clove in there.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad we got this recommended. I'm glad we were able to find it just like that. It was meant to be.
Goodness, yeah, this...
Meant to be.
This smells like a little patch of land we have up at the river where we have some clover, actually. Yeah. Right, now that I can't... Wow.
Well,
that's really good. That's really good. I'm going to be giving this a thorough recommend. And you're right, Tony. If this was my bottle, it would go on the top shelf.
There you have it.
So, folks, I definitely say you give Green Spot Single Pot Still Traditional Irish Whiskey a try. Even if it's just one, I'd say you give this bottle a shot, and I think you're going to find friends and family are going to thoroughly enjoy it. So,
if you're
Tony,
a fan of Irish whiskey, this is definitely one you're going to want to try. I'm
if you're a fan of
pleasantly
If
surprised.
you're a fan of whiskey, this might be one you
Yeah,
want to
even
try.
then. Even then.
T, quite the bottle you found there, sir.
Indeed.
Bottoms up.